Is this recorded?
Yup.
All right. Okay. So it's all right. August 6th, 2023. Scapegoats.
Yup.
All right. So did you just got back from Vermont, right?
I did just get back from Vermont, yes.
How did that go?
Um, it was pretty interesting. I saw a wide range of political signs up there.
Oh yeah.
Yup. I saw
Uh,
quite a lot of VBEC signs.
mm-hmm.
Saw a few
Yep.
Bergam signs.
Really, I haven't seen a Bergam sign yet.
Yeah, I saw a few. A lot of them were homemade, too.
Understand. Yeah. I was up in New Hampshire. I saw a Vivek sign. Um, Truth.
Nice.
Yeah. Is there still the flooding? Um, any of that still like at the aftermath?
Um, a lot of regions in Vermont were heavily damaged by the flooding. Driving up way past through Montpelier, which is the capital of Vermont, but it was also one of the worst hit areas, and you could tell that there was just like a lot of vegetation in some areas,
Mhm.
and now it's just like all sand.
Yeah. Wow. I knew just like already just a lot of damage. But yeah. Um, yeah. I still obviously I'm sure you're able to have a good time.
Yeah, we were on the side of a mountain.
Oh yeah. That's that's pretty cool. That's yeah. Some hiking.
Didn't do much hiking because I'm a bit how do I put this, unathletic.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with that. We watch sports, but like, yeah,
Yeah, we
um,
watch sports, we don't play them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't do any hiking. Um, yeah. Um, you ever Hillsboro? You ever been up there?
Um, I've never been to the city of Hillsborough, but I have been to Hillsborough County. Then
Yep.
again, that's not that far away.
Yeah. It's near like Winnipesaukee. Yeah. So definitely was a nice area.
Yeah, Winnipesaukee awesome. I've been up there quite a few times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That that's yeah. So that summer overall been enjoying it.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I've been enjoying summer.
Yeah. Yeah. The concerts and yeah. Um,
Did I tell you how
but
much
yeah.
weed was at that Matchbox 20 concert?
Really.
Oh my god. So, first up, the entire thing was soccer moms.
Hmm.
I have never seen more minivans in my life. And there was so much weed that I was getting high off the weed that
Yeah.
was behind me.
The second it, were you
Yeah,
getting a little
I was getting contact highs.
getting yeah, exactly. Yeah. That yeah, that makes because you can't even really like you kind of have to sneak it in, unless it's like outside.
Yeah, it was an
Um,
outside menu.
oh, okay, yeah. But that definitely can enhance the experience.
Yeah, we also
Um,
found a bunch of like random jewel pods on the ground.
oh, that's every you'll at least find a couple one or two of those.
What's funny is
But
I've never found one before, and that's crazy because I've been to that venue twice before.
here you go, the new memory.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of new memories. For example, I don't know if you've seen the I don't know if you've seen the Barbie movie, and I don't know if any of our viewers have seen it, but if you have, if you haven't, there's a song by Matchbox 20 in it, and it's called Push. So right before the band played Push, um, the lead singer of the band, Rob Thomas, goes, "This song is dedicated to Ryan Gosling," and the entire
Mhm.
crowd lost it.
I might see it tomorrow. Because I just the box office has been insane with both movies.
Yeah, Barbie and
Um,
Oppenheimer.
hmm some fans said they could hear the atomic bomb go off in the other across the hall from that movie while
The
watching Barbie.
Oppenheimer could
But
not
yeah,
have come out at a more perfect time too, given the state of world affairs.
did you watch it in the front row? Have you seen the
I have not seen it yet, and I am dying to see it.
see it in the front row? The videos just up close.
I've seen like so many TikTok videos where people
Hmm.
were just like making fun of it. They were like pretending to get like radiation poisoning from it,
Yep,
which overall is kind of a sick thing to do, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, I can understand why.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the first episode. I think we'll go in. I think main topics that this will be like a political kind of podcast, but also like sports. That we with that and music too. Um,
Definitely.
we'll be having that in common. Even like just because yeah, we're both gonna take chorus. Uh, fun fact.
Wait, hold on. It's official.
I'd say so.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on like um his confirmation email because it's summer break.
Yeah, my guidance counselor left, so I have no idea what's going on. I know one of my grades is from last year, one of my final grades. My teacher told me it was 3 points higher than it came out on my report card. So I'm gonna need to talk that over with my new guidance counselor, but I have still not been assigned a new guidance counselor.
There's always an issue with our high school is so disorganized. We'll get our schedule like the day before school, and then our classes will just be all over the place.
I cannot tell you how many times in sophomore year, like my mom would see the report card and she's like, "You got a 65 in math," and then my math teacher would be like, at the parent teacher conference, my math teacher in sophomore year was like, "Oh no, he's got an 80. What? What's happening here?" And my mom would show the report card and she's like, "Um, first of all, there are so many things wrong with that one."
Yeah, yeah. There's always that one class that they either don't transfer something over or it's just.
Yeah, they're always doing that.
Hmm.
Like this year, there were so many times where my mom was like emailing my teachers about my grades, and my teachers were like, "Oh no, he's got higher grades. Like, what is going on?" Yeah, overall this year was kind of bad due to a couple situations for me, but you know, I'm going into senior year. Hoping to end high school with a bang.
I really hope you do. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, high school isn't. Yeah. It's not the easiest. Hopefully, yeah. My junior high will be. Um, yeah. Better starts. um, yeah. I mean, definitely some of the classes that we had were some of the highlights of the year.
Specifically, intro to government class, which is where this podcast actually became an idea.
Yep. Through our teacher, pretty much.
Yeah,
Which yeah. I still keep in touch.
yeah, me too.
Great guy. Great guy. Um, yeah. I'll assume most of our viewers will probably lean like left moderate. Um, I'll assume. But I mean, all are welcome. Like,
Yeah,
um,
that's another thing
it's
I want to bring
yeah.
up. Everyone is welcome here. Um, you're not going to hear like any racial slurs. You're not going to hear
Mhm.
any, you're not going to hear anything discriminatory here. It may be a little biased, seeing as we're both like kind of liberal leaning, but
Mhm.
we're just trying to we're trying to show off our perspective because there's not a whole lot of liberal podcasts, conservative whereas conservative podcasts are like all over the place now. So
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you could argue a divide on both parties, but definitely more of a divide on that side where it's two completely different things. When we're trying to aim for one specific point. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. uh,
so
yeah. Uh, sorry. I mean, the first Republican primary, I think, is August 23rd, I believe. Um,
oh yeah,
I
I
that
forgot they were
yeah.
starting early this year. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That'll be
like
in Michigan or Wisconsin. I yeah,
I just
I
want to point
believe.
out to our viewers that we are, I believe, exactly as of the recording of this episode of Scapegoats, I believe we are exactly 14 months away from the 2024 presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's mind blowing.
Yeah, it's under 500 days, I believe. So that's pretty close.
Yeah,
November 24. But yeah, I think that'll be in Milwaukee. Um, Aired on Fox News by I think Tucker Carlson. Um, which is
Tucker
interesting.
Carlson. Tucker Carlson on X because it's not Twitter anymore.
Yep. Yeah, X. That's just turned into another Elon product.
that
Um,
that threw everybody for a loop, especially me because I was like gonna be like, oh yeah, like I was gonna pull stuff up from Twitter, but for some reason when it like updated on my computer, what happened was it made me log in, and for some reason it's having like login errors
mhm.
after the update. So because it didn't make me log back in on my phone, it just made me log back in on my computer. So I can't pull stuff up now.
That sucks. I mean, just it's turned into a whole just different app in a matter of like 8 9 months. I mean, wasn't the whole point of Twitter for tweeting? And now what X? It's uh
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
that's
actually I saw this theory on Reddit the other day that Elon Musk might have named X after Francis Suarez. I'm not kidding. That was like a post I saw on Reddit. I forget which subreddit, but if I can remember, I will definitely tell y'all.
yeah. I That would be Elon does say like welcome for all, but he definitely kind of leans with more like conspiracies and um yeah um
Now let's get into
and
our first candidate analysis.
yeah who do we start with? Do we go right to the big guy with the biggest headlines? um
I was thinking we start off with an underdog. This
okay.
man is representing Michigan. He is
Okay.
polling near zero, and he is one of the sketchiest people running for president I'm talking about Perry Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I At one point he was polling third in the Republican polls, but he has since dropped off drastically.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, and in which it said that he qualified for the debate stage, which is but you're right that he's looked well below like Pence and Suarez, who have neither received 40K donors. It's like, what is he like? Did you like? Is he's either like inflating his numbers, or he's just um receiving this huge um I mean, like he's a multi-billion-dollar, like he has a company, like it doesn't surprise me that he's able to somehow reframe this, but um it's definitely interesting because yeah, like nobody really knows who he is apart from him being this entrepreneur.
No, I just want to point out that in 2004, um, Perry Johnson Registrars Incorporated was suspended by the U.S. Registrar Accreditation Board, which prevented them from issuing aerospace certifications, and the firm was later suspended by the Japan Accreditation Board of Conformity Assessment, and that was in the same year. And then they sued over the suspension, though the board never responded in court.
Suspicious. uh
Yeah, I definitely think that's um, very sketchy.
yeah. I don't know if you heard his Iowa dinner speech, which was but just his issues now, like wanting to remove the Department of Education and just completely scrapping the FBI and DOJ, just completely just removing it, is just unheard of.
I have a fe-
He's he shouldn't be anywhere near the Oval Office.
I have
I'm
a feeling
sorry.
I have a feeling after the primaries are over, we are definitely going to see an RFK Jr. and Perry Johnson ticket as like an independent run.
Uh, yeah, I have it's like, have you heard like that Tulsi Gabbard has kind of like, she's like kind of like turned more into like independent, like almost like conservative leaning, like that surprised me.
Well, Liz Cheney's turned independent, leaning towards liberal.
I like Liz Cheney is one of my favorites conservatives. She has changed. She's yeah. I don't know, Adam Kingsler too. A lot of the January 6th committee um, are yeah are pretty accountable. Um, yeah, they're pretty reasonable.
I think the
Um,
next one we've got to talk about here, because of his extreme views. Now, I know a lot of y'all are probably thinking I'm talking about Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis here. I'm not. Straight out of Arthur, North Dakota, we have Doug Burgum.
yeah, you can start with him. Um,
Okay, so first up, Burgum is friends with a dude named Craig Cobb. Now, if you don't know who that is, he is a member of the KKK and he's also a neo Nazi. And he's also based in North Dakota. So that immediately kind of set off a bunch of alarms when I read that. Then I'm looking
mhm,
into Burgum's political stances. Um, he signed numerous anti-trans laws, including a near total ban on gender-affirming care for minors. Um, he has deployed the National Board to. He's deployed the National Guard to the southern border with Mexico numerous times. Um, he's actually extremely against abortion to the point where there is a near total ban on abortion in North Dakota. He is very vocal for the fossil fuel industry. I am personally split down the middle with that one. Um, Burgum has also previously endorsed Trump, but it has seemed, especially in the past month or so, to have it seems like that partnership has since ended. He
Yeah.
banned the teaching of critical race theory in North Dakota K-12 schools, and he did cut a lot of taxes, but specifically for the wealthy and members of the North Dakota National Guard.
Yeah. Definitely a dark secret for being governor of North Dakota. Um,
I don't see him getting far.
no, I has he qualified
I think
for the
he.
debate?
I don't know. What? I'm gonna
I,
look that up right now.
I think he has. Ironically, I don't know if Pence did either. But um,
Yep. Burgum has met qualifications for the August 23rd debate in Milwaukee,
yep. Okay. All right.
which is that's got to be one of the darkest things about this race. Honestly, coming into this, I was like, I was thinking it was going to be like Ron DeSantis, Asa Hutchinson, and Donald Trump. I was thinking they're going to be, probably the most extreme people in this race. We haven't even seen Greg Abbott launch his candidacy, and I'm already thinking he might end up being one of the more extreme people in this
You
race.
think
But
he'll run?
I think Abbott's going to run. He's expressed interest in it numerous times. I think he will.
Whew.
Um,
Yeah, Asa's been surprisingly, um, yeah, like 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 I wouldn't say but like he's been like attacking. He's been against Trump. He hasn't really. He's taken some jabs at him. Um,
I think J6
so
did splinter the GOP into a bunch of different factions.
it, the entire MAGA has just has split the GOP. But mainly that did the biggest stamper in the divide. Um, I'd say next the biggest one who's taken the most jabs at Trump, Chris Christie,
Amazing.
Governor of New Jersey, kind of like oldie but a goodie because he ran in 2016, so he's kind of like at his last straw. Um, but yeah, he's definitely he's been on the news. He's taken the most news coverage of the candidates, I'd say. I think he's been from CNN to Newsmax to MSNBC. I've seen him on a bunch of different channels. He's just mainly been just expressing that he's lying to the American people, that he's not running for the that he's running to stay out of jail, to pardon himself. And I think he went out on Newsmax the other day or today and just I think he went on a saying that he's using the people to pay for his own legal fees, and this guy's a billionaire, and that's his true motive. Uh, that he's been trying to put through um, here.
Chris Christie also did back up the Lincoln Project about a month ago or something.
Yep. Yep.
And he also
So,
said that Donald Trump was falsely parading himself as the savior of the middle class.
mm-hmm.
That is definitely that's something coming from him.
Yeah, fully incurred that. Yeah, Trump's spending the middle class on his own legal fees, which that's. I think his political action committee had, I think when he ran 160 million and then that was down to 5 million, and now he's requesting another 60 million. And yeah, Christie's just yeah. I think we can get it because yeah, this half um, are still endorsing Trump, the other half are attacking. So we'll get into that. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah. Christie's basically said he's willing to be the most willing to attack, and if he gets into the primary, that he would destroy Biden, and you know, um, willing to go against that. So yeah,
Now, I do want to bring up that Chris Christie in the last few years has become very moderate compared to his stances in 2016. Because if you remember, in 2016, he did not support gay marriage. He did support civil unions, but that doesn't really equal gay marriage. But as of recently, Chris Christie has said that he respects same sex marriage and considers it legally settled.
yeah.
He has
Um,
also
I
outlawed gay conversion therapy, making New Jersey the second state to do that, and he did that shortly before his tenure as governor ended in 2018.
yeah. I think he also said abortion was up to the American people. I think he's pretty moderate on that. Um, I believe on Roe v. Wade. So
He did say that. So Christie is normally very anti-abortion, or at least that's what a lot of people thought. He's become more moderate in the past few years, but the
yeah,
last thing I can say is he supports it if he supports abortion if it's in cases of sexual assault, incest,
okay.
or if the woman's life is in danger. So he doesn't want a total ban on abortion, which I think it's good that because the platform he's running on, if he were to somehow win, it would be available to the people who absolutely need it. And I think in that situation, yeah, like it should be legal.
Yeah, I think as a conservative, that's kind of the reasonable place where I think he'd want to be, where he'd want to see voters where he's at. Even though 65 or 70% of Americans support Roe v. Wade, are do want that to. Um, but yeah, I still would say that's reasonable enough. Um, yeah,
Now, here is where he separates himself from the Republican Party drastically: gun control. That is the issue that I feel like he is focusing on most because obviously, and this has actually, I've been noticing this trend for a while now, and I'm probably going to be one of the first. I'm probably going to be one of the first young people to, openly say this. Um, but I've noticed a drastic uptake in mass shootings since Parkland in 2018.
hmm
Um, and Chris Christie, while not wanting to outlaw firearms, he does want background checks. He wants stricter background checks, and he does not want exceptions to that whatsoever. He wants a hard limit at the age of 21. Um, I gotta say that is where he's separating himself from the Republican Party.
yeah, him not acting enough. Is he saying more of the the mental health comes first before the guns? Kind of, is he still leaning? That's been kind of the stance.
Yeah, he's saying that a person's mental health should be like checked out before they can get a gun, and I feel very strongly on that. as someone who has dealt with mental health issues in the past. In
Hmm.
fact, that is why I haven't posted a whole lot of YouTube videos in the past few years. Um, but yeah, as someone who's dealt with those issues in the past, I can definitely see why um, people would feel as if you need to get checked out before you can get a gun, and I support that stance 100%.
Hmm. Hmm. Mental health is real. We're definitely relating that. Um, where yeah, high school would definitely put a damper on being able to um, yeah, express these kind of issues now. Um, but yeah, um, that's his divide on that. But yeah.
Now, I think we should go to another very moderate Republican who has a very similar campaign logo to Donald Trump's. Let's talk about Mayor Francis Suarez of Miami, Florida.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, he is a strong advocate for cryptocurrency. Um,
Not a fan of that.
I don't, I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah, yeah, that it's so risky. It's like yeah, I feel like you can lose so much. Like that, so many businesses that have gone out through that. It's yeah, I wouldn't put my money on it.
Yeah. What I do like about Suarez is that he believes climate change is real, and
Hmm.
he has actually he wrote an article with former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon about how Miami is defending itself from the effects of climate change, and obviously we've seen how badly Miami and the rest of Florida have been hit by hurricanes in the past few years.
Hmm.
I was down in Florida in February, and I've got to say, some of the things I saw, um, just the damage from Hurricane Ian, what I saw was just heartbreaking. And
Hmm.
I think that kind of, I think that is what is making a lot of Floridians actually, I think that's what's resonating with them. It's just that they've been battered by hurricanes in the past few years. And, it seems like Suarez definitely understands that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he seemed yeah he's been accountable for a lot of that. Yeah, I know he's with criminal criminal justice. He said that that's been some of the best in Miami. But yeah, I mean, his issues with climate are definitely real, and it's a bigger issue than a lot of politicians are making. So that it's an important piece that he's enlisting because yeah, we're in the boiling era right now. July was the hottest month ever in that's probably that's still to come. I mean,
It looks like
yeah.
August is going to break that record, and that's actually pretty scary. But I do want to mention that the World Meteorological Organization put out a statement the other day saying it's not just global warming now; it's global boiling.
Hmm.
And before we get back into Francis Suarez, I just want to kind of talk about something here in regards to that. Um, That is the exact reason we're seeing countries like Indonesia build new capitals that aren't directly on the coast.
Right.
Because Jakarta is sinking, and next year, Indonesia is expected to relocate about half of Jakarta's inhabitants to the new capital, which will be called Nusantara, and that is not directly on the coast, and it's away from volcanoes and stuff like that. So that's definitely going to be an issue that we are going to see more of, especially with cities like Miami and Boston that lie directly on the coast. Because if anything catastrophic were to happen, coastal cities like Miami, Boston, Portland, Maine,
Hmm.
um, New
New
York City,
York.
even, yeah,
Yeah.
they'd be in the line of fire first.
Yeah. I, no one's really even talking about that, so
Except
it's
for Francis
definitely
Suarez, so
except
that's literally why he's been in the news.
the GOP needs to talk about Suarez a little bit more here. He needs to make the debate stage.
Yeah. Um, Honestly, I've seen a lot of Democrats saying how they want to specifically vote Republican in the primaries.
Re- uh, hmm.
Specifically for Christie and Suarez.
That's. I mean, I know Suarez will get like Latino votes. Um,
Yeah.
obviously, but interesting because yeah, there aren't. I don't even know many moderates that are strong moderates that are running. I mean, we know Afro Man.
Oh no.
We've talked about.
Joseph Foreman, better known as Afroman. He's a rapper, and he is running on two things and two things only, which are total legalization of marijuana and total legalization of prostitution, which is outlawed in 49 states. Yeah, not 50,
Hey,
49.
top issue. Um, I mean, he's throwing it out there.
He's throwing it out there, and he's never going to get far in this election. But
Uh-huh.
but he seems to have a really, really good understanding of the situation because if you look at it, Nevada has one of the lowest rates of human trafficking in the U.S. because prostitution is legal.
It, especially
Yeah, in
Nevada.
places
I
where
mean,
prostitution is legal, human trafficking is extremely low. So, and I like how he put an emphasis on that pretty quickly. So,
got to give Froman some credit.
I'm not saying that's the permanent way to go, but I'm saying until they can figure out like a better solution to curb the spread of human trafficking, I feel like that is the way to go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, the Kanye West. I mean, is that considered an independent?
Yeah. Oh god. I knew Kanye was going to come up at some point. I knew he was going to come up at some point.
I know we're bringing up like the little like the minor ones first. Or I mean, Kanye's not minor, but I mean, candidate wise,
Let's just talk about how we finished third in Wyoming in 2020. And let's talk about how we got 60,000 votes in 2020.
that that's a number. That's it sounds low, but it's 60,000 people voted for Kanye West.
I just want to
I
point
mean,
out that the 18 to 21 bracket is going to practically dominate this upcoming election.
mhm.
I mean, they're expecting how many new voters? I think I saw something like 22 million or something.
That will you be a new voter? By
Oh
I
yeah.
think
I'm currently in the process of pre-registering.
that's great.
Yeah. Well, we're filling out the paperwork now. I legally can't do it until March of 2024, but you know.
You'll make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be great. Yeah, earlier the better. Voting's important. Just establishing that. Um,
Guys,
and we got
remember
Cornel West in the Green Party. He's worth mentioning.
I forgot about Cornell.
He's definitely the definition of a philosopher.
From what I'm seeing, yeah.
Yeah. I've heard enough people would like that he would make. I don't
Oh
um
my god, hold on.
know if it'd make an impact.
Cornell has released rap albums.
Really?
So we have two rappers with the last name West running for president.
Who knew? Philosopher, public intellectual, and rapper.
And spoken word artist. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Um.
Should we dive
Okay.
into a big one?
Yeah. Do you know? I think you know who we're. Is it Ron?
I we can dive into Ron. I was thinking Mike though.
Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. Well. All right. We'll do Ron first.
Yeah, we'll do Ron first
'Cause
because
then yeah.
we've got a lot to say on him.
Because yeah, and also Pence and stuff. I'm loving his recent battle with Trump right now. Um, but yeah, Ron, um, yeah, governor of
What?
Florida.
Okay, first up, Ron DeSantis. Um, I just found this out. He was a star baseball player at Yale University,
Huh.
and even before that, he was part of the Dunedin national team that made it to the 1991 Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes a little more sense why he'd be playing baseball on Fox News, uh, on a live interview.
Wait,
Um,
seriously?
oh yeah, there were a bunch of those. Where I think I forget his. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, the five crew would be. It would be Jesse Waters just throwing a baseball at DeSantis um but yeah he was a big candidate there were definitely would it be Trump, would it be Biden be Trump or Biden be DeSantis that was the big first competitor, he was in the polls at the end of 2022 I feel, and then he's just completely dampered. I feel almost like the Twitter, ever since he ran, the whole live stream debacle was I kind of like the beginning. I feel.
That was the beginning of the end for him.
Yeah. Um.
Unfortunately,
But
he's still kind of going. He's going downhill in funding, but he's going uphill in polling, which I have no idea how that's happening, but it is.
yeah.
Now, DeSantis is extremely anti-trans and anti-gay.
Hmm.
I that is just there is so much to unpack there.
There's
He
so much to say into that. I mean.
he proposed building a concentration camp for LGBTQ plus individuals next
Mhm.
to Disney World.
Yeah, his battle with Disney is.
Di-
Yeah, he
Disney
lost
beat
that.
the crap out of him, and
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
go Disney on that one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Now I can see where people in the military would like him, as he does have military experience. But
But no, 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 no. When you actually look into his military proposals, I mean,
that's actually scary.
eliminating diversity initiatives, banning transgender members from serving as their identity, stopping funding for the programs designed to fight climate change. That's just
That's what
all
I have.
just.
Yeah, that people should look further than just he has military experience. No, they should look into like
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I didn't even
And
I didn't think he would win mayor, and I didn't think he would win governor in 2022, but he did.
I don't know if he. I don't think he won it easily,
He
or
did.
was it a land, or it was a landslide, or yeah, I think he did win it pretty.
Only four counties, sorry, only five voted for Charlie Crist. who was his Democratic opponent. One of them being Broward County in Florida.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, DeSantis has also continued to, call the every political weaponization of the DOJ, and just a hope that he'd pardon, it wanted to pardon Trump, and that's all just not true. The political weaponization, and uh, yeah, so they're fueling the witch hunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, very. Yeah, and he'd do it. I don't know if he went to the national abortion ban on the United States. I'm not. Did he go to that point?
I have not yet, but he did say something about it. Yeah, he did say that he
He
wanted that.
just, yeah, he's just too extreme for the majority of Republican voters for him to get the nominee. Right now, uh, yeah, it almost like he's not really even close to Trump, like behind him, but
I rank him second in the most dangerous people on the planet right now. Because number one is obviously Vladimir Putin, but number two, Ron DeSantis, because if he were to somehow get elected president, I'm telling you, a lot of what we have in the U.S. would be drastically changed, and to outside countries, the U.S. would definitely seem like Germany in the 1930s and 40s.
yeah, because of his, yeah, I mean, referring to a video of Nazi symbols being in his campaign is just telling as it is. Um,
I mean, Nazi symbols are in Kanye's campaign, but Kanye doesn't stand a chance. DeSantis, unfortunately, does.
mhm. Yeah, he's trying to, yeah, make his name in the debate stage. So, um, yeah, uh, we go to Pence or push him.
Let's go. Let's go to
Um,
Pence. Let's.
okay.
Okay, so I just want to start off by saying Mike Pence since 2021 has been definitely a controversial man
Definitely.
because you've got to remember on January 6th, 2021, when that whole I don't even know what's called. Some might say an insurrection. Um, I personally just like to call it a fiasco.
Yeah, insurrection, attack on nation's capital and democracy. That I'll go a little bit more into that, but until yeah,
It was
Pence
an
was
attack
witch
on the
hunt until
integrity of
that
this
day.
country, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to remember that Trump's supporters were literally calling on. They were trying to get to Mike Pence. They were trying
Mm-hmm.
to. They actually constructed the gallows. Like, have you seen that pic?
Yep, yep.
Because that's actually like not disturbing.
Mm-hmm. That's what Trump wanted. He obviously he wanted Pence to go against the Constitution and provoke. You're too honest.
And
It
Pence
you
refused.
don't, yeah, go with me against, yeah, don't withhold the votes. And what really what I think happened, he looked on that, he looked at him, he looked at his lawyers, and he's like, if I don't do this, I'm going to become the seventh co-conspirator. You know what I mean? Like there's already six. If he didn't, he would have been right. He would have been involved. So he had to go with the law, and that's what he's continuing to do since that day. And ever since, there's been a clash between them.
And Trump's even said if he wins the nomination in 2024, Pence will not be his running mate.
No.
And I personally think the second he said that, I think Pence like let out a sigh of relief. I swear to God, that is probably what went down because I cannot imagine what went down in the days following January 6th.
Oh yeah, I mean he's went out in an interview and say on him and his family feared for their lives. I mean, like, there's no
Honestly,
idea what he put them through. I
Honestly,
mean, not yeah.
who wouldn't? If I was Mike Pence and I was hearing people shouting "Hang Mike Pence" right outside my door,
Hmm.
I would have left the country.
Yeah. We don't agree with him politically, but I do think he's a good immoral person, and I respect a lot of what he did, and he did do his duty as vice president at the end, and went to the inauguration and did the right thing for president elect at the time. Then,
And even
um,
though we don't agree with him politically,
yeah.
um, I do just want to mention that if for some reason the more moderate Republicans get knocked out and you're considering voting Republican, if for whatever reason Suarez and Christie do not make it to your state's primaries, probably go with Pence or Tim Scott.
Hmm.
And speaking of Tim Scott, oh my God,
Do you want to go right to
we got to get into
because I
Tim.
feel for I he's probably one of the most likely VP, like as like Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, like even like I feel like those are the most likely.
I don't see,
Uh,
I don't see Tim Scott running with Trump. I personally don't.
you you Vivek maybe?
I think it's most like I think Trump would go with Asa, even though
Really?
Asa's like against him. I feel like out of the current field, Trump would go with Asa. But then again, Mike Pence didn't run in 2016, and he still ended
Yeah,
up vice president. So if
yeah.
it comes down to that, yeah,
Asa Haley Scott, like for I'd say yeah, those are all looking at the field.
Drag
Um,
Abbott.
hmm
I'm gonna throw his name out there too.
yeah, but yeah, Tim Scott, senator from South Carolina. Um, yeah, he's younger. Um, I think he definitely like appeals. Like he does hold a lot of conservative values for voters. Very Christian. Um, holds a good for African American voters. Uh, good hold for that. I've heard some people said he could get a big sworn in numbers just for what he represents um, and just that he's in the right time to spark for something for a higher seat. Um,
No,
yeah,
yeah, I agree with that. Now, this is why I don't think Scott would run as Trump's running mate. All right,
mm-hmm,
Trump came out and said that Tim Scott was only running to be the token minority in the field.
mm-hmm,
And honestly, I think that comment, because like Scott didn't even clap back to that. I think that was the end right then and there.
mm-hmm.
I'm calling it. I do not think Tim Scott is going to make it past the first wave of states in the primaries.
Yeah, he's not known enough. Yeah, and did hear the clash between Scott and DeSantis over like the critical race theory policies um,
Yeah,
and things like that. But yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, that yeah that was kind of pretty detrimental right when that happened. So yeah, it could be more like Hutchinson and Haley.
yeah. Uh, Haley, I think is trying to be Trump's running mate. I do not think he'd go with her unless he absolutely had to. But
Mhm.
we'll see. I think if Haley were to secure the nomination, I think Vivek would end up as her running mate, considering
Mhm.
um
Okay.
they both are pushing for greater representation of Indian Americans in American politics,
Yep.
as they are both Indian
Yeah.
American themselves.
she's definitely, yeah. She's been almost like presidential, like in her speeches, and yeah, she's been kind of back and forth. But I certainly a better candidate than Marjorie Taylor Greene. That it's I was thinking that should be the best like woman VP candidate. That if he was to pick. Um, but yeah, I think yeah. And we can touch into Vivek. Um,
We don't know too much about Vivek though. That's like the thing. Nobody had heard of
yeah,
him until he announced his campaign.
I do know a little bit of his back. Like I don't know. He's not the youngest. I think he's the
He is
youngest
the
GOP candidate ever.
yeah. He's only
Um,
37.
yeah, but yeah, I did his company. I didn't had a failed Alzheimer's medication.
And
And
I think
like for
that's
the
gonna come back to bite him in the ass.
yeah, 'cause for the most part, a successful entrepreneur, but I did a crummy background, and uh, but yeah, I mean, especially I don't know if you see his picks for the Supreme Court, um, Ted Cruz and Mike Lee. um, I don't know if you knew that.
Okay, there. That was. I never thought I'd hear Ted Cruz and Supreme Court in the same sentence, but here we are.
Yeah, that's what Vivek thinks. Yeah, yeah, and he would also, yeah, he agrees with the political weaponization, and would also he's kind of on that side, which is what also made me think because I knew like yeah I knew Trump had once said I liked him, I like Vivek. I think he had said that in an interview once. That sparked my eye. He was like in his anti woke capitalism agenda that he's kind of going with. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Vivek stands out um amongst the Republicans as like the younger face here, but I think that's really the only thing that's gonna give him any sort of push. Um, Obviously that failed Alzheimer's medication. You screw up with an Alzheimer's medication, that's gonna come back to bite you in the ass, and I think we are definitely gonna see that in the primaries.
Hmm. Yeah, that. Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, the hope one candidate will probably bring that up. And I don't know what you have to say about that.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be the big man that brings it up, and I think we should analyze him next.
um, is that who I think it is?
Yes, sirree. Born on June 14th, 1946 in Queens, New York, Donald J. Trump.
Yeah,
Okay. Probably known as
former
the.
POTUS.
Yup. Probably the most controversial one, too.
Hmm. I would say,
Tried to.
yeah.
Didn't he say something about making Mar-a-Lago the new White House at one point?
Um, I'm sure he says a new lie every day. But yeah, I mean he's registered to vote in Florida, so if he wanted to make that his new sanction, I'm sure he'd try to. Um,
No, I just want to point out that Trump's campaign may fall short in the coming months due to extremely unforeseen circumstances, at least to him. I saw some of these coming a while ago.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I brought up his campaign money. They're already requesting another 60 million. It's running the pressure's mounting on him.
And with all these charges being brought on him.
Yeah, he's been indicted for a third time, twice indicted, twice impeached, three indicted, two federal charges. He's 78 charges in total. I mean,
And
he could theoretically serve up to 650 years in prison, which is unlikely.
hold on,
But
did you just say 650?
if charged with every single count, it would be theoretically 650.
Okay,
Um,
once again, that is worst possible scenario for him. But if that
Hmm.
were to happen, that would actually be, I believe, the third longest prison sentence in United
Hmm.
States history.
Yeah, I do. I think there'll be some acquittals, but I do think that yeah,
He's gonna get. I think he's gonna get convicted on at least one.
the January 6th one is the
There's a whole
most
load.
serious.
There's a whole load of charges pending too with that one that
Hmm.
are probably gonna roll in, and there are some where he could actually face treason charges, and oh boy, that would just be.
And yeah, and George is serious. The Fulton County Sheriff says Trump will not receive special treatment if he's charged by a grand jury in Georgia, and that he would have his mugshot taken. Which that yeah, uh, yeah. There's a lot of legal heat surrounding him, uh, but that's not really even stopping the MAGA crowd.
Oh
For
yeah,
the
that
most part,
crowd is.
I don't know. Kevin McCarthy the other day is still kind of spouting the same debunked theory. I don't. I think what he's getting angry because he has to say it. I don't think he believes it's true. I think that they have to.
You can
I
see it
mean,
in his eyes. He looks pained when he says it.
exactly. They don't want. Yeah. Lindsey Graham too. Um, they're still gonna defend him. And
They're
yeah, I mean, yeah.
they're gonna
Not
defend him
not
even though they
yeah.
don't want to.
Uh, now, yeah, now filing a protective order after being like, if you go after me, I'm coming after you. I mean, there's like you can't like that could have a harmful effect on like you've got to like keep a fair administration. Like he could be held in contempt for these. I mean, unlikely, but it's possible.
Yeah,
Um,
and you also have to bring up. I just want to bring something up real quick about the former president. The other day, he made a comment about sentencing Hunter Biden to death for tax evasion. This is
mm,
the same man that was convicted on multiple counts of tax evasion, and those charges led to the closure of three of his casinos.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I thought I'd bring that up, just to kind of.
Yeah,
That's.
I'll kind of I'll debate a little like because according to the U.S. Senate Commission regarding his taxes, like he paid his dues. Like for less than 2% of taxpayers, like 20% ever even face charges or fees. Like there's no morality in like other case. Like he was like treated like fairly. Like it was a personal case. Like I'm not defending that he didn't pay his taxes on time,
Yeah.
but he wasn't the former president. Like he's not like it's just a hard when they bring. But what about Hunter? Like what? Like there's barely any like he's paid his like like it's crazy. Like I get like he was a former drug addict. Like I get it, but they've just
Yeah.
completely turned it into a political nutcase.
And what's even worse, I think, is that Trump was. I feel like, well, there is some validity to Trump going after Hunter. I think he's especially doing it to um, go after the current president, Joe Biden.
Hmm.
I feel like he's absolutely just trying to figure out how to get Biden to fold through his own son.
Yeah. When it's yeah, I mean, and that's just a family matter. I mean, like I'd say, like I think like the polls are tied right now because but I mean, I'd say like inflation's lowering a little bit. The economy's, I think it's going on the right track. Um,
We'll see how
if
the
people, if people like look at, in my opinion, I think Bidenomics is working, but a lot of people disagree.
and
Because yeah, I mean, he's trying to move it back to the middle class, and even what really ruins the deficit is when you cut the taxes I mean that's really the difference since the Reagan administration. They've been really the corporate coup d'état. I don't know if you've ever heard of that reference.
yeah,
What they that's kind of what they've done for years. You put like an annual 5 trillion shift from the working class to the wealthiest 1%. That's what really changes it, not
Yeah.
not the other way around. But yeah, um,
And
yeah,
I think I
yeah.
think Trump is I think his 2020 campaign definitely was marred by a lot of things, especially um his really non-attention to the whole George Floyd
Mm-hmm.
thing. I cannot speak tonight, so that's what I'm going with right now because the unjust murder of George Floyd. I feel he paid almost no attention to that, and I just want to point out when the same thing happened to Michael Wilson in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014, Barack Obama paid a lot of attention to that, and Trump was over here brushing that off his shoulder and telling people to inject Clorox into their skin to cure
Mm-hmm.
coronavirus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. He definitely, yeah. His pandemic debunk theories, hydrochloroquine, the horse tranquilite, and yeah, his responses to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and um, white supremacy. What about it, and kind of not. I forget exactly what he said. Um, it,
It
it, it was about white supremacy. Um,
it was something like what's wrong about it or something like that he
yeah.
said, and
Um,
I was just like, why is he even talking about this right now?
exactly. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah.
Obviously we could go on and on about him. Let's talk about some potential candidates though. These are candidates that have not officially announced they are running but have expressed interest in the past few weeks or the past few months or even the past year. And I'm going to start with one. This isn't who you're thinking of, but I am just going to bring him up, if anything, because I know you're a football fan and
Yeah.
because he is from Fulton County. Um, Herschel Walker.
Really? Is he running?
He's expressed interest.
Oh,
Yeah, that would
man.
be classic.
I remember when Herschel Walker was running for governor, right?
He was running
Uh,
for like some seat in Congress or whatever, but
it was insane. Someone was quoting him, and it was just gibberish. It was just, from him doing push-ups with Lindsey Graham. He's just crazy.
for me, I'm not kidding. That was a lot of people scrutinize Gary Johnson, the 2016 Libertarian nominee, for saying what is Aleppo, but
Oh,
that is nothing compared to all of the stuff that Herschel Walker said.
yeah.
Yeah, I just
But yeah. By the way, Trump did. He had said, "Stand back and stand by." With the Proud Boys, that was his quote that I was referring to. Um, in response.
it's not looking
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for him. I love how we go from Perry Johnson to Herschel Walker, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Herschel Walker probably won't get anywhere.
If
But
he decides to run, yeah.
yeah.
The fact that Perry Johnson stands a better chance in my mind.
Yeah. uh, is okay. There. Okay. The Will Hurd, right?
Okay,
Um,
I'll take that. He's running.
he's yeah. He's been surprisingly moderate. I don't know if he former representative from Texas, right? Um,
Uh,
yeah, younger, not definitely not. getting a whole lot of support. Kind of had a little bit of a famous speech in Iowa that basically he's going after Trump. I mean, if you vote for him, he's really just trying to escape from jail, and the crowd was booing him, and he's like, "I know, I know." Um, I don't know if you saw that.
No, I do want to bring
Uh,
up. Yeah, Heard. Yeah, that was a moment there. Heard also had another moment in 2022. Now I just want to mention. I forgot to mention at the beginning. Viewer discretion is heavily advised here, and especially for this part. Um, but I just want to point out that 1 minute. If I'm correct, uh, the district he represented, um, which is Texas District 23, um, that had the city of Uvalde in it. And of course, we all know what happened in Uvalde about a year and a half ago.
mhm.
Um, Heard's response to that's definitely going to resonate with younger voters, and I think that's where it should. Younger voters need to, kind of they need to be the ones to say something about, preventing school shootings. And Will Hurd is the one candidate who's like really talking about it.
Yeah, he's definitely speaking. Yeah, on a surprising a lot of the right issues. And yeah, that's a major, yeah, definitely issue that is just you hear it, yeah, every day. And yeah, um, yeah, Uvalde was a big one of the biggest ones that um, yeah, happened year and a half ago. Um, and yeah, um, yeah,
Yeah.
they keep happening. And I'm not saying, a push, to ban assault weapons. We all
Yeah.
know what the Second Amendment says. Um, it gets to a point where you see other countries, Australia and the UK, and you don't hear nearly as much. Um,
Yeah.
you come to where both parties need to decide on a sort of regulation before, yeah, instead of one side just stopping the other from passing anything. Um, but yeah,
There needs to be an agreement like now, and I think Will Hurd is definitely pushing for that. Um,
yeah,
I love that he's getting bipartisan agreements done. Um, I like that, his stances. He's the third moderate candidate involved. I totally forgot about him, honestly.
yeah,
Until then, but yeah, it's him, Christie, and Suarez, and I think that if you're looking for a moderate Republican, Will Hurd, Chris Christie, Francis Suarez. That's about it.
yeah. They're probably, yeah, they'll be the most reasonable. I'd say, yeah. Um, yeah, and yeah, even in Christie's still, yeah, conservative for the most part, but definitely um, is willing to, yeah, um, yeah. They all have, yeah, moderate discussions. And yeah, I'd say go into, I think, the last who's far from moderate, Larry Elder.
Oh
Uh,
man.
uh,
Yikes.
yeah, famous for the Larry Elder Show. Um, yeah,
He really he's the last one. Oh my god.
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he I think I heard one recent speech, and he just went on a really long sob story. Um,
Yeah, and as we know, um, those do not really get the attention of conservative voters. So
yeah,
even though he is extreme, that whole thing probably ended his chances right there.
uh, arguably, yeah, they were, yeah, he was losing the voters' attention. um, yeah, I don't even. I think he's just, yeah, he's pretty extreme. Um, and I don't even know if he made the debate stage. I don't think so.
We're gonna
Um,
we we have to we have to react to the debate when it happens.
oh yeah, that'll be the first one. I've had my eye on that one because yeah, there was, yeah, because the Iowa dinner doesn't really, that didn't count. That was kind of just like a sneak peek of a handful of candidates.
Yeah,
Um,
but the debate is where we're gonna see. That's I'm gonna use this term. That's where we're gonna see first blood drawn.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. Um, I think we touched on all the GOP candidates. Nikki Haley, I don't know if we got into her.
We did
Um,
briefly touch upon Nikki Haley and Asa
yeah,
Hutchinson, but really, I
yeah.
feel like we've gotten all of their stances talking about other candidates.
The Worth RFK Jr. or is that
Let's
worth?
go to the other side now. Why not?
Okay.
And we should definitely start with RFK Jr. because he is the most Republican Democrat there is.
Yeah, he's honestly worth just talking about in that section. Might as
Yeah.
well.
So obviously, the son of the famed politician Robert F. Kennedy. Um,
Yep.
Obviously, RFK Jr. Lost his father at a very young age. He was 14 when his father died.
Hmm.
Um, this
Yeah.
man literally, I feel like his entire platform so far has been vote for me because I have abs. That is
Yeah,
literally his entire platform.
because he's not a politician. Or at least, I mean, yeah, he environmental lawyer, I think.
Yeah, that's
Um,
exactly what it lists him as.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there. He's basically. I think he got um campaign money through GOP campaigns, right? Um,
Yeah, it,
it's like I don't
Kenny,
even think the Kennedys haven't even supported him. I don't think.
his own family dislikes him.
Yeah, yeah. That I've just I know we've looked at some headlines that he's like RFK Jr. press dinner explodes in war of words and farting. Like
Yeah,
that's where he's at. Um,
yeah.
and expressing,
He's acting really unprofessional for a presidential candidate.
yeah, anti-vax and promotes a lot of
Conspiracy theories.
conspiracy against the government too, which is just yeah,
Now,
um,
on the
not a
same
good idea.
on the same track as I think it was Doug Burgum. Was it Doug Burgum who wanted to disband the FBI?
That was Perry Johnson.
Oh no, that was Perry. Yeah.
He wants to scrap the FBI and DOJ and just,
RFK
yeah,
also wants to scrap the FBI and DOJ, but he also wants to scrap the CIA as well.
yeah.
He
He
has
does.
even come out and said that he believes the FBI and CIA are responsible for killing his father, which we obviously know is not true.
He's said it all. Uh, yeah, yeah, not fit for office.
Listening to the man
um,
gives me a headache.
yeah, yeah, him saying I'm more fit than Joe Biden. Watch me do push-ups and like that's
He
Yeah.
posted a video of him swimming laps in his pool
I I don't even.
or something like that. Yeah, it was.
He's trying to he's going like with the Arnold, like he's going with that like sort of like diva style of candidacy.
Well,
Like
he is. Well, he is apparently close with Arnold, so which
that
makes
too.
sense because you have to remember Maria Shriver's a Kennedy, and who was Maria
Mhm.
Shriver married to at one point? Arnold
Arnold.
Schwarzenegger. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean that. Yeah. So that sums up. That yeah. There's Marianne Williamson. Who
A
yeah. I've
perennial
heard.
candidate.
I've heard some things about it. I know she had yeah author ran in 2020. I think worked with Oprah.
She
Um,
did well in 2020, surprisingly.
yeah.
I was surprised
Um,
to see that she came in fourth in some states. Like,
yeah, that is she sparked enough. Um, I knew she was in New Hampshire like about a month ago. I think uh, yeah, I think she's with like Medicare, Medicaid. But I think she want legalization of all drugs, which is interesting. Um,
so
like yeah,
I can provide some
like
clarity on that if you want.
yeah, sure.
Okay, so a lot of other countries, in a lot of other countries, drugs aren't treated as like crimes, but rather health issues,
Hmm.
and like especially mental health issues. And she's running on that platform.
Which yeah, I don't disagree.
I don't disagree. I think they should be treated as health issues instead of crimes.
Yeah, because I mean, there's been a lot of studies that people don't say for psychedelics and that really benefit veterans and people with PTSD and
I've seen it
trauma.
first.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand with people I know. I've seen how addiction. I've seen how addiction is more of a health problem than a crime,
Hmm.
and you know, it's hard to kind of. It's a hard thing to talk about, but I think she's on the right track here. I think
Yeah,
she knows what her cards are. I think she just doesn't know how to play them.
yeah. Uh, she just doesn't. Yeah, she also just doesn't have enough. And yeah, I think 'cause even like I said, like Dean Phillips and other good like candidates that wanted like a new like few, but it would be rare for anyone to um yeah go over Joe Biden as uh, um
If
yeah the
any,
front runner of that party.
if anyone can do it, it's out of this field. If anyone can do it, it's gonna be Marianne.
Uh yeah, because I don't because I like Dean, but I don't think enough people know. Yeah, if anyone, it probably would
He's too
honestly be
inexperienced.
Marion. Yeah,
Then again, Barack
yeah,
Obama had like 2 years of being a representative or something like that, and ended up winning the
yeah,
2008 election.
um, yeah. He had it though. He kind of had that. Which is like a point of like some people like people ended up not seeing Obama as their savior. So when they see that they go to something dark and then they go for Trump. Um, almost some people would argue as a point, but obviously we point Obama got a lot done.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Uh,
Want to talk about the big man on this side of the spectrum now?
yeah, I get net going to Joe Biden.
Yup.
Um, yeah. For yeah, U.S. Senator, Vice
Longtime
President.
U.S. Senator, yeah.
Yep. Vice President to Obama, 8 years. Um,
Oldest
and now,
president in history, but that's
yeah,
working for him. It's
yeah,
working for him.
he is old. He is. 80, but I almost the age debate doesn't really even like count. I feel because it's like Trump's like almost like 78, like almost. So it's like
Yeah,
they're similar in so if that's like the likely primary debate, the still yeah you still got it. Um, and I'd almost think that Kamala Harris has almost taken on like a forceful new role in the campaign. She's been doing of her fight in Florida and Iowa, and she's doing a lot of like trying to reclaim the momentum into the candidacy, into that's picking up a lot of pace. But like I said, like in my opinion, Bidenomics has been going well, and the economy should have it because yeah, obviously it's still I think the lowest it's been since the '60s, so that's still not great. But um, I think that like this is yeah. I think it can be on the right track where we're at so far. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, oh, a minute. Here we go. There is a presidential candidates tier list maker for 2024. Oh my god! Wait, it's all like Democrats. What the hell?
The tier makers are great. They're,
Yeah, half these people aren't even running. Never mind. Okay, so overall, I think this election is definitely gonna be one to watch out for.
yeah.
Um,
Um, definitely yeah. One for people to vote, and I understand if it really doesn't seem exciting, but it's still important. Yeah. Um, yeah to where we're at, and yeah, just go on. So, yeah, under 500 days away, but still still an important topic.
yeah, definitely. Um, and I'm actually gonna get the number of days right now. As of right now, we are 456 days, 3 hours, 32 minutes, and 52 seconds away from the 2024 presidential election.
Yeah, there we go. Um, yeah, be curious um, yeah.
Yeah. Now, is there anyone else you think we should mention here?
Um, I okay. Joe Exotic, uh,
Joe Exotic?
convicted felon, but it is running as a Democrat.
Tiger King's
Um,
gonna help him out.
and yeah, I wonder who is running. Yeah, would be the running mate. Yeah, it's you can still run from jail. I mean, you're not allowed to vote for a conviction. So like if Trump was convicted, he wouldn't be able to vote in Florida, but he could still obviously run to the presidency, which would be a legal disaster. But in that scenario, but people can still run in jail. It's a weird, uh,
System.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
What
Um,
about what about Alex Jones? Should we mention him as a potential candidate?
oh man, if he hasn't officially run yet, that would be insane. I, I don't even know where to put him with. I get
We're gonna end up creating a chart of left to right, like most moderate to extreme, at some point.
Yeah, one we did before was
God. Oh my god.
was insane.
Yeah, we did that for
Um,
just Republicans, and that was like hilarious.
yeah. Uh, um, uh, yeah, I believe that. How many candidates is that in? So every, yeah, everyone making the debate stage would be, um, I think Burgum, Christie, DeSantis, Haley,
Suarez and
Hutchinson,
Pence, maybe.
Ramaswamy. I don't. We still don't like if Trump will debate. I don't even. He said he wouldn't, but
I wouldn't
I
take
mean,
that. I
it
wouldn't take
wouldn't
that.
shock me if he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust any. He's if he says he wouldn't, what I've noticed is
Then
it, if he says he won't, he will.
yeah, don't. Yeah, you can't trust anything he
I
says.
cannot
And
believe I'm about to quote Pitbull on this, but he said he won't, but I bet he will.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I've said, those who don't do as him are him.
So
uh,
I think we
yeah.
have time for one more issue.
Okay.
Let's talk about the current global state of affairs, because of course foreign policy is detrimental to the election every year.
Okay.
So obviously we have Russia invading Ukraine, we have Belarus threatening to invade Poland right now, we have China threatening to invade Taiwan and North Korea right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The war in Ukraine is that's a top debated issue.
I find it hilarious that the Taliban is actually supporting Ukraine.
That is that is surprising to me. Yeah.
Okay, like
Wow.
I get it's because they hate the Russians, but seriously, on what planet does the Taliban ever support the West?
Yeah, that definitely that does. Yeah, like that's a surprising that I mean, but at the same time, like I mean, knowing what Putin besides like China, I mean, really, a lot of people have been against Putin and real that yeah until he falls right now and that like we had to, slowly this team is working on. I mean, like it would be so hard to take him down, but um there's this long ongoing battle that um, is slowly going up against them.
And sooner or later, and I think Putin knows this, sooner or later, he's coming down.
Hmm.
He knows it's happening. We know it's happening. Everyone knows it's happening. It's only a matter of
Yeah.
time. We're already seeing anti-Putin demonstrations in Russia, and yeah, they're being put down violently, but he can only do that for so long before it all unfolds. We saw this in 1991 with the Soviet Union.
Hmm.
And
Uh,
well, I'm not saying Putin is like Gennady Zhuganov, who was the last leader of the Soviet Union.
hmm.
I'm not saying Putin isn't like Zhuganov either.
You could argue worse, I mean, but
I don't honestly compare Putin to a certain man from Austria, but
I think I know who you're
yeah,
referring to.
one of
But
his paintings is in CS:GO.
yep,
I think
um,
I think you've probably heard of him. His name was Adolphus Schicklgruber.
maybe I think yep, familiar. Okay. Um,
Yeah, watch the oversimplified video.
all right, I will. But yeah, I mean, NATO's been. I think. Pretty strong. I mean, I'd say Ukraine can't join NATO because if that was to happen, then you'd be assume
Then
everyone else would have to attack Russia. That would be a
yeah,
World War
it would
Three.
invoke Article 5 and World War III would happen. But
Exactly. Yeah.
we're in a stage where, unfortunately, we might end up in that situation anyway because of China going after Taiwan. We have military obligations to defend Taiwan.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, very worst case scenario here, but it's not completely unlikely. In fact, it's looking more and more likely by the day. More and more likely. Um, it's also looking more and more likely that the U.S. may have to end up defending North Korea. I
That
don't know again on what planet, but
I don't. I don't know if Biden would agree to that. Um,
well, we have
that would
military
surprise me.
obligations. We have obligations
But
to
I
defend
see what
South
you're
Korea
saying.
and Japan.
Yeah.
So, and if China were to take over North Korea, they'd be right on the border with South Korea, and we all know what would happen from there.
Hmm. But yeah, that is in the very worst case scenario. Um,
Yeah, I
uh,
think we're. I think the world is definitely in a fragile state. So we'll see
yeah.
where that goes.
Yeah, global. I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, obviously, people, complain why are taxes so high right now? I mean, that mainly because of the war has a lot to do with that. A lot of the funding in Ukraine instead of like you can't give them really these you're being very careful. You do anything, you give them anything more, and you're trying to avoid World War III. So that point is just in an awkward position. Because yeah, I mean, domestic political and policy risks are just elevated in the run-ups. When you have Democrats and Republicans each control the House and Congress within the majority, so it is pretty um, thin margined.
Also, just
Um,
want to let you know you're probably going to end up on the blacklisted unidentified persons list of Russia for associating with me. I'm not kidding. The
huh.
owner of my I found a list. I am not sure how I found it. I just found it randomly. I think I scrolled like through 100 pages on Google because I was like, "Huh, who's banned in Russia aside from like certain people, right?" So I'm like searching through. Finally, find a list. I scroll down like 52 or something pages, make it to the unidentified persons list, and I see my Twitter handle on there, and I'm like, "Great to know I'm banned from entering Russia."
Oh wow. Yeah, I guess yeah. All you have to do is just either grab a different passport if you're ever heading down to Russia. But I wouldn't want to go down there anytime soon.
Yeah, do not go to Russia, guys.
Yeah, not that wasn't an invitation.
That was not an invitation. If anything, that was a warning.
Yeah. um. Yeah.
Do you play Hearts of Iron 4?
I don't. But
It's a Steam game. Occasionally, it goes on sale. So next time Steam has sales, I'd search for it.
okay.
It's
Yes.
basically Risk
See.
Online. Download the Millennium Dawn mod and play with the 2016 start date.
Okay. Yeah. Steam has a lot of great games. So.
Yeah,
Um.
trust
Yeah.
me, it's
Yeah.
amazing. I play as the USA almost every time for obvious reasons.
Yep.
If you play as
um.
Mexico, though, you can release the Sinaloa cartel as an independent country.
Okay. Yeah. This definitely sounds fun.
Yeah, I did that once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely yeah. It doesn't always have to be like we both have a lot of sports things in common and music
Yeah.
too. So definitely always get into those sections.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Um, are you one of the people that believes that New England should have traded a bunch of draft picks for Jamar Chase?
um, yeah, I don't think I ever would have seen the Belichick do that kind of scenario. But that yeah, that would have been locked up receiver for a long time. But yeah, and so we got Mac Jones that year, so that probably we don't even know for sure if he's a franchise guy yet, but I think he'll do better this year.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we're in such a tough division. The Patriots are. Um, I'm a Patriots and Bengals fan, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're in the AFC East, which is just uh, every single team could arguably make the playoffs in that division. So yeah,
I'm not much of a football fan. I'm a baseball fan. I think I'm a little too much of a baseball fan to be honest.
I could say that about football, but yeah, I know we both. Yeah, you like the international teams too.
Oh, but yeah, I could get out. I could have a podcast just about that. I've considered doing that actually.
Yeah,
But I think
yeah.
we're I think we should end off with a little activity for anyone who sees this.
Okay.
Let's do that. So here we go. I just have to find something real quick. Um,
I knew Red Sox didn't make any moves over the trade deadline.
we
Not
made
really.
one, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, like one.
Well, we made two, but we made one like no, we made like three actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
three.
yeah, we traded Kike Hernandez to the Dodgers for Nick Robertson, who we called up to the majors today. Actually, um, he had made his debut with the Dodgers, his major league debut anyway, um, a month before being traded. So we acquired Nick Robertson and Justin Hagenman for Kike Hernandez. Hagenman is definitely some AAA depth with the ceiling of an MLB guy. Then we traded minor leaguer Marquez Johnson to the San Francisco Giants for a major league pitcher, Mauricio Llovera. And
Mhm.
honestly, Llovera's been doing pretty well. And to wrap things up, we traded minor leaguer Bradley Blaylock to the Milwaukee Brewers for Luis Urias, who we called up from Worcester today. And to do that, we designated Christian Arroyo for assignment, and Arroyo cleared waivers and is in our minor league system. We also DFA'd Jorge Alfaro, and he elected free agency.
Nice. That more moves than I thought. You think they'll make the playoffs or?
I I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. I think they're in the stage of rebuilding. Next year, we got a lot of guys coming up. Obviously, some favorites are C.J. Liu, Nick Sogard, Marcelo Meyer, Nick York, possibly Blaze Jordan. Seen a lot of Tyler McDonough talk. A lot of Hunter Dobbins talk as well. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But to end this off, we're gonna have our viewers do something. So if you see this, we're gonna have you type something in the comments. All
Yep.
right. I'm going to give you a clue to what it is right now. All right. So this is an election year, but y'all have to type in what year this was. This was the year that Daniel Webster ran for president. So type your answers in the comments, and as always, we will see you next time. But for
All
now,
right.
this is the end of Scapegoats episode 1. We hope to see you again.
All right. See you. All
Yep.
right. All right. Bye.